talking about my upcoming offseason preview for the Houston Rockets, who have 2 first-round picks, have a chance of getting the first overall pick, and they're 20-57 for the year. So let's get right into it. And obviously, Steven Stiles said he's a 99.9% coming back. This is according to Sports 610 Radio, okay? And look, this is in all seriousness. This looks like the front office is going to stay and everybody's working out. Now, the most important thing is what we got to talk about is John Wall. Teams will explore trades, but there's really no interest by any team, it seems like, to take on the future contract. And at this point, it seems nearly impossible for them to find a trade. And if it's not the Russell Westbrook flip that the Lakers have suggested that they kind of would be willing to do, it seems like John Wall will ultimately be bought out for how much he wants, not how much the Rockets want, and be able to pick his team, and he probably will go back to the Wizards, if I have to say so myself. But now that the Rockets probably, do you think the Rockets will explore a trade? Now, I don't think the Rockets will go get Damian Lillard, but do you think they will try to get a Donovan Mitchell, a Julius Randle, or a Zion Williamson, who isn't old enough to, technically, those two guys, and Mitchell and Zion Williamson, are young guys. And then you got Julius Randle, who's somewhat young. And, Raphael Stone, I think they would like to get a guy who's kind of, established somewhat, but he's still young, not even close to 30. And the thing is, I don't think Jalen Green or Alperen Sengun or any of the guys are available. But I think what we got to look at this offseason, Christian Wood is eligible for a contract, and I think he could be a trade chip. I think Tate and Kevin Porter Jr., if they could create, obviously if they could trade somehow Tate, Porter, and Wood for, hypothetically we're speaking here, Donovan Mitchell, okay? Would you guys do that? Tell me down below. And look, first off, the Rockets are loaded with upcoming cap space. Jalen Green, Sengun, Josh Christopher, KJ Martin, Usman Garuba, Garrison Mathews, Daishen Nix, okay, are all going to come out for $25 million against the cap. Another 15 for the 2 first-round picks they'll get this year, and that means they'll have $40 million committed of what will be $125 million, which means they'll have $85 million to, sign guys. And Christian Wood, Kevin Porter Jr. and Tate will have cap holes about $33 million, which means they'll have, after that 85, about $52 million to play with. And they have the bird rights on Kevin Porter Jr. I expect to bring him back, but I don't think they're going to overpay him. Wood, I don't know. I don't know if Wood, because if Wood could give you a lottery pick, that'd be cool, okay? Or you could trade Wood for an established player, that'd be cool. I just think the Rockets would have traded Wood if a right offer came across the deadline, and I don't think it has. So if they do pick up a guy like Chet Holmgren, Paolo Banchero, or Jabari, Smith, I think that will make it easier for Sengun to be on the floor and coexist with one of those guys instead of Christian Wood, which would lead to Christian Wood probably being able to be moved, in my opinion. And with that being said, who are some free agents that this team can target? I mean, the top free agents, there's technically, we're going to talk about Zach LaVine could go, but I doubt he doesn't go. Okay, Kyrie will be in there, but that's not a realistic options. If we look at realistic options, Miles Bridges, Jalen Brunson, are those guys you want to go after in free agency? Or do you go after, a Colin Sexton who you could take away from the Cavs? Or do you go out there and you look for, Ricky Rubio who could set the culture, a Tyus Jones similar, who could be the point guard and set the culture for you guys as an older guy, but not too old, okay? And I think that's what's the most impressive part about this is that, Dennis Schroeder kind of had some moments there as the point guard. So you wonder do you want to go veteran? Does Gary Payton II interest you? And I think that's where it gets injuries. It's not a big free agency, but there are some fishes to look at. And when I look at not the Hornets and say, but Miles Bridges of the Hornets, I think he would be awesome. Kevin Porter Jr., Jalen Green, Miles Bridges, okay, Sengun, Garuba. There's a lot there. Now, who do I think they should take? I think they should take Jabari Smith or Paolo Banchero. I don't think they need to get themselves in the Chet Holmgren mess. I'm not wild on Chet Holmgren. I just get scared that he's going to be either a Mo Bamba or a Pokusevski combination, which is he'll have an NBA career, but I don't see him being Kristaps Porzingis or Giannis Antetokounmpo. It's the shoulders. It's the narrow shoulders. I'm scared that he'll have to be, playing the 4 or the 3. because he's not strong enough to go as the 5. Like and subscribe.